Here in Washington, D.C., speaking at the U.S. Holocaust Museum, the annual Days of Remembrance ceremony there as he is exiting the crowd after addressing them for about 20 minutes here. Obviously, his comments on anti-Semitism come as we also see campus unrest that is not going anywhere. Ceremonies and graduations canceled as Joe Biden today is talking about that we live in a civil society. I'm pleased to bring in Rabbi Shmuley now, America's rabbi, author of founder of the World Values Network. Rabbi Shmuley, always a pleasure to have you, but in particularly today, I'd like to get your reaction to some of the comments we just heard from Joe Biden talking about Holocaust victims, the Remembrance Day, October the 7th. As you know, just days ago, they stopped ammunition going into Israel, that there has been a lot of pressure on Israel as they have entered into Rafah to try and eradicate Hamas.
Let me be clear that first and foremost, I'm very grateful to the president for his strong words of condemnation of anti-Semitism and, of course, support for Israel. But words are just that. They're words. And as you said, never again. And when he started by saying that never again means never forget, what the hell? No, never again means never allow Jews to be gassed, shot, burnt alive, decapitated, gang raped again. What does he mean that never again means don't forget? I'm not into not forgetting the Holocaust. I'm into never re-allowing the Holocaust. Now, Hamas is a genocidal Nazi ideology movement with one big difference. The Nazis buried their crimes, blew up the crematoriums. No one could discover their crimes. And Hamas celebrates their crimes. They have a charter that says openly we are going to annihilate every Jew, including every Jew in the United States. President Biden is giving such mixed messages. This is a powerful speech. On the other hand, he's allowing Benjamin Netanyahu to be demonized. He's allowing the Democratic head, the majority leader of the Senate, to openly call for the removal of a democratically elected, the only democratically elected leader in all of the Middle East during a war, Benjamin Netanyahu. He's not condemning the International Criminal Court, the ICC, who's now after Netanyahu, not Qatar, not the Emir of Qatar, who's allowing the billionaire heads of Hamas to live in luxury in Doha. No, Benjamin Netanyahu. Above all else,
mixed messages. Biden, yes, over and over. Yeah. Rabbi, I just want to widen out our conversation, not to interrupt, but also we have Tom Borelli, Newsmax contributor with us, also Matt Lieberman, publisher of the Lieberman Files, and distinguished professor Thane Rosenbaum, who attended Columbia, I believe, as well, to weigh in on what we just heard. I mean, picking up on all of these threads that Rabbi Shmuley just so articulately laid out, while, you know, there is a remembrance and we're watching these candles be lit and we're seeing the emotion, the heartfelt sadness, the profound day in marking of this, yet a sitting president who seems to have more concerns about Islamophobia in the same breath that he says anti-Semitism. First to you, Thane.
I thought it was an awful speech. Awful. What the president needs to say after all of that, which was predictable that he would say, is, and therefore I am prepared to do the following. If you are a student on a student visa in any way responsible for these encampments, you are gone. You're leaving this country. You are a terrorist. And we don't want terrorists in this country. If you were one of the universities that had a problem with offending people on campus and allowing Jewish students to be shut out of their own campus, we are going to initiate through the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Education, Title VI defunding provisions.
All these tools.
This is what, if you are holding a sign that says Intifada, death to Jews, if you're saying death to America in front of people who are patriotic, we're not going to allow you to hide behind the First Amendment because the First Amendment doesn't protect that.
All these tools. We've seen Speaker Johnson actually physically go to the Columbia campus. We know today Congress is actually having a hearing with education folks to talk about where's the anti-Semitism brewing early on, K through 12. Matt, your reaction to what President Biden just said, to everyone's point here, there's things he did not say, and maybe that is the glaring point that needs to be expanded upon.
I agree. It does need to be expanded upon. We'll see if President Biden and his administration ever get around to expanding upon it. Look, Joe Biden has been, for a long career, a good, solid friend of Israel and certainly feels in his gut a closeness of connection to the Jewish people. But what Shmuley said is the first thing I heard. I can't believe they wrote that speech, or he ad-libbed that speech with that little line, never again means never forget. Let's be really clear. What never forget is like a story. Don't forget that story that you once heard. It's a serious and sad story. The whole point of the idea of never again is don't allow actions like that to occur again. That is the whole point. And as President of the United States, he has at his disposal actions that he can take to counter the actions that we're seeing right here and right now. And he needs to take them.
Yes.
A lot of good words, but what we need is not words now. Words will save not a single person. Words saved not a single person in the late 30s and 40s. We need actions, and the president has to step up.
And while he is saying these words, as you say, we are seeing the actions of people chanting death to Jews, death to America, yet he stands there and says, we are a civil society, we uphold the law. Tom Borelli, final thoughts to you on Joe Biden's comments on such a somber and significant day here in our nation and the world.
Well, it's a horrible speech by President Biden. Personally, I'm not surprised because he's totally lacks leadership. Now, if he wants to say never again, how about let's not allow Iran to fund Hamas? Hamas was able to do those horrific acts on October 7th because Iran was the one funding them. And where did Iran get billions of dollars from? They got them from sanction waiver relief from Joe Biden, and before that, former President Obama. There are also sanction relief efforts so that Iran can sell oil around the world, giving them more billions. So yes. Biden, at the end of the day, is funding terror. He's working against the world, he's working against Israel, and he's working against the United States Americans.
Panel, I appreciate your thoughts today. Rabbi Shmuley, Tom Borelli, Matt Lieberman, Thane Rosenbaum, thank you all. And I'm sure we'll be discussing this much further later today on Newsmax. Take good care. And folks, we're going to take a very quick break. When we come back, Donald Trump in court today. Stormy Daniels is on the stand right now. We have our legal experts standing by, and including famed attorney Gloria Allred, to talk about how credible a Stormy witness can be after all of the statements she's said in the past. Our special edition of Newsline, Trump on Trial, begins after this.